Hello, beautiful beings of light. Welcome back to my channel. I was really inspired to do a new moon in Libra reading today. So what I felt called to do was do a past, present, future type of reading. So like what is coming in from the past? How to navigate that in the present moment? And then any messages or any guidance on how to navigate this in the future. So I've already received a card from Spirit, and the card is presence. What is coming up from the past? Presence. How are we spending our awareness, our consciousness, our attention? And look at the number on that card, 44. Wow. Master numbers coming in. This is a point of mastery. Let's see. Let me fill in. Where are we placing our attention? Our focus? Because that is actually where our point of power is. It's where our power is. So if we're not present to how we're feeling internally, right? Because sometimes we're saying, I'm okay, or I don't want to feel this, but like deep down, there's something surfacing, and it could be anger, it could be sadness. And anger and rage are actually cover emotions. So if there's anger or something, there is a deeper level to that. Just FYI. But what's surfacing? What's underneath? There's a lot of really deep issues and challenges, and really karmic is the word that I get. A lot of karmic issues, karmic loops, karma that we're closing out right now. And so how present can we be with that? How present are we in our life? Where are we feeding our attention to? Right? So if we're feeding fear, we're feeding scarcity, anger, violence, war, depression. There's no judgment here, right? No judgment, but if we're feeding those, if we're paying attention to those states of being, then we are creating timelines of scarcity, of fear, of war, of violence, etc., 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 right? So where is your presence? Where is your presence? Come back to the moment, the now moment. Come back to the wellness that is present. Come back to gratitude. Come back to love. Come back to yourself. Come back to your own light. Right? Because she's looking at this little bee, like just so like, hi, you're beautiful, you're amazing. Also, there's a connection happening there. She's connecting very, very intimately through her eyes. Where is our presence? Presence is actually a form of intimacy. And so if we're lacking presence, we're also lacking intimacy on some level, somewhere within our lives. Connection, presence. Whatever we are giving our presence to, our attention to, our focus to, right? She's focusing very intently. Whatever we're giving this to, we're also connecting to it. So if we're connecting to fear, scarcity, we're giving our presence, we're giving our power to that. We're creating from that state of fear, or that state of scarcity, excuse me. But however, like conversely, if we are focusing our attention and our presence on what we're grateful for, what we have, right? Not necessarily physical possessions, but it can be the love that's in our life. What are we grateful for? What is in our life that uplifts us, inspires us, empowers us? If there's nothing, then maybe your presence, maybe your attention would be better suited to, to shift your presence, shift your attention, shift your focus. When we shift our presence, if we're shifting from, say, scarcity and fear, from that to love, abundance, gratitude, we're actually changing our reality. This is a master number. This is us learning and remembering how to master, how to manifest, how to stay present and be present with ourselves. Because there could be some really heavy emotions, heavy traumas that are coming up. And if we cannot allow ourselves to be present with that, then we're actually we're doing ourselves a great disservice with a lack of presence to our own being. And so if we can't find the presence, we can't find it in ourselves to actually be present with ourselves, then that is actually being reflected. It's somewhere in our reality. So if you're maybe feeling that someone's not giving you the presence or focus or attention, or you're not receiving it in a way that maybe you prefer, then it's time to revisit this. Where are you giving your presence to? What are you focusing on, and how are you focusing on it? Do your perspectives tend to bring you down and make you feel less than by comparing yourself? Or do you uplift yourself through your attention, through your focus, and say, oh, this is where I'm at, but I know that it's all going to work out. Best case scenario, everything's always working out. How are you focusing? How are you utilizing your presence of being to manifest the life that you prefer, the life of your dreams, all of it? Okay, so this is the challenge that's coming up for this full moon in Libra. Being present with ourselves, with others. Now, we're going to ask the mermaids, how can we navigate this going forward? Because this could be emotions, this could be navigating emotions, navigating those watery emotions. So how can we navigate this? How can we best navigate this during this moon cycle, during this time? Freedom, independence, self-determination. Wow. And this is all root. Look, this is crown. This is all root. You got to bring it back to the physical. Bring it back to you. Bring it back to the root. Freedom, self-determination. This actually makes me, I really get the energy of self-reflection, of just bringing it back to the self. If you feel you are maybe not aware on some levels, just in life, or there's certain attention being focused on you that you do not prefer, it's about self-reflection. Self-reflection. Look at yourself. Explore where explore where in your life you could use some, I'm trying to figure out how to word this, because there's a sword here, and there is that clarity. We can cut through the bullshit with the sword, right? And we can pick that sword up anytime. It's within our grasp to just pick that up and cut through the bullshit, give ourselves some clarity by being self-determined, by being independent. If there's some kind of awareness or attention unwanted, right, then you got to bring it back to the self. You got to bring it back to the self. How are you focusing? How are you It's this energy of self-reflection, bringing it back to the self. And there's also some transformation to be had. This is also telling me, let the old version of you die. And it's being okay with that. And this isn't just like, just because I told you to let it die, let it die. It's about doing it in your own divine timing, with your own awarenesses and insights, being empowered, right? Because we're talking about independence here. Being empowered. This is taking it straight back to the root chakra and really grounding in clarity, letting old versions of you die that don't serve you, and getting to the root of the issue. With all of this red, it's time to get to the root of the issue. Where is this root coming from? A lot of what we're clearing right now is actually coming from past, aka parallel live streams, when we first experienced maybe a lack of presence, right? It's the first, like, it's the very, very first split offs from source that we started to, feel this lack of divine presence. And your presence is divine. That's the thing. Many people don't understand that. Your presence is divine. So whatever you give your presence to, you're focusing on, you're giving your attention to, and that energy is going to flow into whatever you give your presence to. So if you're giving presence to scarcity, you're flowing your energy into scarcity and fear. So this card is telling me it's time to get to the root of the issue. And that this new moon in Libra is actually going to start highlighting these issues for you, so that you can move forward, so that you can gain the insights, so that you can let these old versions of you who you thought you were die, so that you may be reborn. This is a card of transformation. And that in that, it's freedom. Freedom from what other people think. How people are focusing their attention on you, whether it's positive or negative, right? Even positive focus can cause us to get all up in our heads and create this false self-image that is not truly us. So this is about getting to the root, right? And she's actually on top of the water. She's not in the water. So, this feels like this clarity can come very, very easily, as if we're on top of it. We just have to give ourselves some presence, some time, some space to actually be present with ourselves, to actually ask ourselves what is coming up for me, and listen. Give ourselves presence. It is time to listen to ourselves so that we can actually hear and perceive the world with clarity and as it actually is, rather than the programs and conditions that we've been taught to, those lenses that we've been taught to view it through. This is about getting to the root. So now it's time to get to the root and find freedom through being present with yourself. Find freedom through allowing these old versions of you to die. Self-determination, self-reflection, self-esteem, self-worth. Yeah, yes. Okay, so going forward, let's see, messages from the angels. Let's get some message from the angels. So what messages does Spirit have for us going forward? Any other insights on how to navigate this going forward? No. Okay. Okay. 2 of them fell out. Creative writing. Archangel Gabriel, make time to write down your thoughts in a journal or pen or an article or book. So get out your journal and do some, either you could do automatic writing to see like what's coming up. Sometimes it just helps to write things down, to put it in physical form, so that this actually helps us to organize the energy within the physical, rather than it being constantly inside of our head, where it's very, very malleable and it can float around, and it's not ever really like grounded. So writing, you can actually create presence through writing, is what I'm hearing. Creating freedom through writing, and really getting all of this, in any emotions, any challenges, any thoughts down into the physical. Because this is very, very evident. It's time to ground into the physical. So this makes a lot of sense that it would be time to ground any challenges or struggles, and it's time to be present with them, face them, give them love, give them your attention. Just because you're giving them your attention in this way does not mean you're going to create more of it. It actually means you're processing through it, therefore resolving this whole situation, and therefore creating different realities. And the second card is peace. Peace comes from remembering that only love is real. Come back to your peace. Look at the dove. This is, wow, there's some things coming in on this too. This feels like, things are going to perhaps get crazier. And protecting your peace, keeping your peace close at hand, and maybe not giving credence and presence to scarcity, fear, etc., 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 by keeping your peace. Keeping your peace by choosing what you give your presence to, your attention, your focus to. And then also creating freedom within that. And coming back to your peace, your centeredness, and really grounding that into your physical, your life, your physical life, your physical vessel is what I meant to say, and as well as your life. So this is how I'm seeing it. What's coming up is maybe lack of presence, or negatively focused presence, right? And then we're going to create freedom, and we're going to ground into freedom by letting old versions of ourselves die, old self-images die, and really ground back into the physical through creative writing. Write out all of it. Write it out. You'll be surprised at what insights come through when you write. And then therefore, with all of this, we actually get to create peace, create harmony within ourselves, a place of peace within ourselves where that can't be disturbed, because we know how to focus our attention and our presence going forward. All right, I hope that helps you in the highest and best way. Again, take what resonates, leave what doesn't. And if you would like to book a personal reading with me, I will have all of that information down in the description box below. And I also offer many other services that you can also, I'm actually rebuilding my website. It's going to go live soon, very, very soon. And you will be able to catch all of my, all of my different offerings on there. I do ancestral healing, channeled healing, and many other services. So you can either check them out on my social media or wait until I get my website going within the next couple days. So may this serve in the highest and best way. And I love you, and blessings. Peace.